Alright, G, let's start simple. If you could relive one day of your life, what day would you pick?
I guess I would relive the day that my first child was born. That was one of the most exciting days of my life. And going through the process of my wife waking up, say, hey, it's time. Through the process of her being so relaxed and wanting to go take a shower, and me in the background completely freaking out. And then after that, we pack up, we get in the car, we're on our way to the hospital. I remember in the classes, they said, hey, make sure you eat something. So we stopped at Del Taco, went through the drive-thru, and we got breakfast. So I made sure she ate something, because at the hospital, who knows how long she'd be in there before she'd get to eat. I remember getting to the hospital, nervous, freaking out, and then just going through that whole process of giving birth. Just too long of a story to answer your question, but if I could relive another day, I would love to relive that day. Not because anything went wrong, but more because it was probably one of the best days of our life when we gave birth to Nicholas, my oldest son.
If your kids were watching this, what's the number one lesson you want them to take away?
Never give up. No matter how tough life gets, never give up. No matter how many situations are thrown at you, no matter how difficult it gets, no matter what obstacles you have, no matter how many negative Nancys you face or Karens you face, no matter what. Number one lesson I think in life is you never give up. You set a goal, you work at it, you work at it, you work at it until do or die mentality. And that's the number one lesson I'd want them to learn.
All right, let's get into cars. What's the wildest story you've experienced running exotic car packer?
Man, there's a lot of wild things that happen here, If you work with the crew that we have here, as, Sean, the owner, plus all the guys here, with Anthony and Nacho doing their crazy videos. And we have Ovis, who's just Ovis, and all the other great guys that have come and gone from here. A lot of crazy stuff behind the scenes. But I guess, the craziest is when someone walks in here with $700,000 in cash wanting to buy a car. And that just blows my mind. They come in and they're ready, they're excited, and then we're counting out $700,000. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
Never seen that amount of money in cash. I never dealt with that much type of cash, but it's really cool to see it.
What's your favorite car you've ever owned, and what's your dream car?
Tough question. I have so many dream cars for so many different scenarios, right? Whether I want a fast, sporty car. Right now, I think one of my favorites would be Ferrari 812 Comp. Just absolutely gorgeous, beautiful car. Whether I want something that I can track and just have dependability. There's nothing like a Porsche GT3 RS, a 992.2. Whether I want something just exotic looking, exciting, you got the Revolto. You see it on my screensaver. I think that's one of my dream cars as far as just exotic. The doors go up, a skittle color, like an orange is absolutely gorgeous. And then as far as a family exotic car, what I currently have, the wide body Urus, it's absolutely gorgeous, fun. You can drive it fast, great sound, great look, and still a family car where you could take your kids and enjoy a Sunday afternoon on PCH. And it's not just me and one other person, but it's me and my kids and my family. And we could take a whole bunch of people.
All right, what's the hardest part about selling exotic cars that people don't see?
Man, I think the hardest part is pleasing people, right? Everybody's so different. Everybody has different standards. And, one shoe doesn't fit all, right? You got to really get to know your customer. You got to really get to know what they want and make sure that you're filling in those boxes. And I think understanding human nature, understanding people is very important. And it's not just about, hey, they want to buy a car, sell them a car, because that's a very transactional relationship. It's over. I think you got to build relationships. So therefore, you help them get into the vehicle of their goals, their dreams, what they're looking for. So therefore, when they think about the next car, they only think about you. They want to come back to you. They want to come back to your dealership, and they want to continue to do business with you because they know you're going to meet, you're going to make sure you meet their needs, not just your own.
All right, you've been getting into fitness lately. If you had to give one fitness tip to someone starting today, what would it be?
Diet. I heard it all the time. 80% of fitness is diet, but I didn't really believe it, or I didn't understand it, or I didn't live it. But diet is everything. Now, problem with diet, saying the word diet, is people go on diets and then they get off diets. So it's something you start and then you stop. You got to change that, and a diet has to really become a change. So that has to be your new habits, your new lifestyle. So with that said, diet is the most important, in my opinion, right now in fitness, but it's become very easy for me because it's become a lifestyle change. And as a lifestyle change now, that's just the way I practice my life. But I've done it in a way where it's not like a carnivore diet, or it's not a keto diet. It's more of a balanced diet where I know my macros, I know my proteins, I know my carbs, I know my calories, I know my sugars, I know my limits in all those categories, and whatever I can fit within the day in those categories, I'm allowed to eat. So therefore, I still have freedom to eat what I want to eat, but I limit myself on the intake. So therefore, it's still a diet and creates a deficit in those different areas where it helps me retain muscle, but lose fat. And it's been an amazing experience. I'm absolutely loving it. I've even increased my water intake to make sure I'm at a gallon a day. I calculate my water intake. I calculate my sugars. I calculate what's good sugars that are in fruits and certain vegetables versus added sugars like syrups and good stuff like that. Giving a funny example, this morning I went to McDonald's. I got a deluxe breakfast platter. It's 1,000 calories, 40 grams of protein, 60 carbs, but the sugars were like 62 grams of sugar. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? My daily limit for sugars in total is 50, and added sugars is 10 grams. So what I had to do was calculate, if I don't eat the syrup, I don't eat the strawberry jam, I only eat one of the biscuits, what will that do? And guess what? That brought the sugars all the way down to 20 grams of sugars, which I'm allowed 50. And it brought it down to only 5 grams of added sugars, which my goal for the day is 10. So there's so many ways you can adapt and change and still eat what you want to eat within means, and still be able to, diet and have that deficit and get to your goals. Now, everybody's goals are different too. Now, this is a very long subject to talk about, but long story short, to answer your question, it's about your diet. It's about your nutrition. And that's something you want to lock down that help you towards your goals.
Speaking of diet, what's your guilty pleasure meal that ruins your macros?
Oh man, so many. I think for me, it's ice cream. Me and my kids love having ice cream parties. That's what we love, going to Handles. Shout out to Handles, right? And that's my guilty pleasure. But, and that has a lot of sugar and a lot of added sugars. So it's difficult. But, once in a while, you got to splurge a little bit. So if we have a good diet during the week, then if I want to splurge for one little meal, one little dessert, I definitely do it.
All right, let's talk about the future. Where do you see yourself in Exotic Car Factory in 5 years?
Exotic Car Factory is going to be one of the fastest growing dealerships in the United States of America. There's no doubt. With the leadership we have between the owner, with the team we have, with the crew, the management team and the sales team, and the discipline we all have, there's no doubt that this will be one of the top, if not the number one dealership in the United States of America. Right now, we are in Orange County, the beautiful city of Tustin. We're expanding to Miami. That's already in the works. We're doing some amazing things, and we have some big goals. This year, we'll cross over $100 million in sales. And one of our goals is to double our numbers every year. And that's what we've done for the last 3 years. We've been, knock on wood, we've been super, super blessed. And we thank God for everything we have. We thank all of our customers for trusting in us, believing in us, and always coming back. And we continue to make sure we provide that high level of service. We do things right. We go out of our way to make sure we under promise but over deliver is our method. And I believe in the next 3 to 6 months, we'll be at around 60 to 80 cars in inventory. And I believe in 2026, we will double our numbers, and we will be a store that does close to 200 million in sales. And I'm super excited about the future of Exotic Car Factory. I'm super excited about our new location, ECF Miami, coming soon, to be determined exactly when. And the future looks bright.
Speaking of goals, what's the bonus goal you've set for yourself this year?
I want to get down to 9% body fat. I think that's the boldest goal for me this year. You know, I have financial goals, I have saving goals, I have goals for my family, you know, all that business goals, right? But I think the boldest is I want to get down to 9% body fat. That's very, very tough to do. And it's probably one of the hardest things I'll ever do in my life. Currently, I'm down to 16.5% body fat. I've come down from 39%. That's pretty embarrassing to say, but 39%, I've come down to 16.5. I'm very confident by the end of the year, I should be around 12 to maybe 13. And I'm very confident by beginning or latest end of summer next year, I'll be under 10% body fat. And that's the boldest, that's the hardest, that's something I'm very passionate about. And I have a lot of people in my corner. I have a lot of friends and family that are supporting me in this journey. I know it's annoying. I can't go out as much. I can't drink. I can't do a lot of things that normal society says, but I'm happy. And I think I have the most energy. I'm happy and it feels good. And that's, I think, what's really important.
All right. And last but not least, what's one question you wish people asked you more often?
I think we all can learn from somebody. I've always learned in life, be a student of life or be a student of business. If you meet someone that's healthier than you, ask them questions. How did they do it? What do they do? What are their habits? If someone's more successful than you, ask them questions. What did you do to get there? How long did it take? What books do you recommend for me to read? There's no shortcuts in life, but by learning from people that have been more successful or been down your path, or they have something you want, they can help you, guide you, so you don't have to make as many mistakes as they did. And I think people need to ask more questions and figure out exactly what it is you want, find someone that has it, and then be willing to be coached. Are you a coachable person? Are you a teachable person? And if you're coachable and you're teachable, the sky is the limit, and you can have anything and everything you want. So I think the number one question I would want people to ask me is, what are the top 3 things you regret over the last 41 years of your life? And if you can learn from one's regret, you can learn not to make those mistakes. And now you're just one step ahead, you know, the next person.
All right. Thank you for answering our questions today.
Yeah, I appreciate this time. And, you know, for all of you that are watching this, I hope you take a moment to subscribe to my channel on YouTube, Exotics by _G. You take a minute to add me on TikTok or add me here on Instagram if you haven't already. Again, same handle at Exotics by _G. And if you have any topics or questions you want to ask, feel free to DM me, or anything else you want to learn about, feel free to put it in the comments and I'll be happy to answer those questions for you guys. Appreciate you, Max, for asking me these questions, the voice behind the camera, and the man that does all my social media videos and everything. People always ask me, and I'll just show you this one last piece. Gee, how do you have so much time to post? I said, I don't. I have a team that edits. I have a team that helps with the material, and I have Max. Max does all the videography and photography. So a little plug for Max. If you want a good videographer or photographer, hit him up and he'll definitely take care of you. All right. Thanks again, you guys, for just watching, and hopefully we see you back.